Admiral Sarah Chen stood motionless before the quantum hologram, her weathered features illuminated by the ghostly light of a dying world. The emergency transmission from the collective showed Vraxian dreadnoughts systematically reducing another civilization to ash. Their ships, angular masses of dark metal and pulsing energy, moved with terrible precision through the debris of orbital defenses. "Play it again," she ordered, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. Her bridge crew exchanged glances but complied. The scene reset. Peaceful orbital stations transformed into expanding clouds of wreckage, planetary defense shields flickering and failing under concentrated fire. This was the third such recording they'd received in as many weeks. The collective council's response played in an adjacent hologram. Alien faces arguing in their crystal-spired chamber, each species adding their voice to a chorus of inaction. "We must study the situation further," declared the Marixan representative, their feathers rustling with artificial dignity. These worlds chose to remain independent. Intervention could be seen as violation of their sovereignty. Chen's hand clenched. The collective, for all its advanced technology and proclaimed wisdom, was paralyzed by its own protocols. She saw the pattern the others missed or chose to ignore. The Vraxians weren't just conquering. They were hunting. Admiral, her XO, Commander Jackson, approached with a data tablet. "Analysis of the Vraxian fleet movements confirms your theory. They're moving in a specific pattern, each target bringing them closer to Arxos." Chen finished, expanding the galactic map with a gesture. The library world pulsed red on the display, its ancient crystal rings holding technological secrets that could reshape the galaxy. That's their real target. Everything else is just clearing the path. The bridge fell silent as implications sank in. Arxos had rejected collective membership centuries ago, its custodians choosing isolation to protect their knowledge. Now that decision left them vulnerable. Their advanced but purely defensive technology no match for Vraxian warfare. Chen's mind flashed to Earth's own history. Powerful nations watching as others fell, rationalization preceding catastrophe. How many times had inaction been dressed as prudence, only for humanity to learn the cost too late? "Get me a direct link to Earth Command," she ordered, straightening her uniform, "and prepare a tactical assessment of the Vraxian fleet's capabilities." "Ma'am," Jackson hesitated. "The Collective Council hasn't authorized." "The Council is still debating while worlds burn." Chen's eyes never left the hologram of destruction. Sometimes waiting for permission means waiting too long. The quantum communicator hummed to life, Earth Command's seal rotating in the air. Chen had practiced this moment in her mind, knowing it would define not just her career, but humanity's place in the galaxy. "Admiral Chen reporting." She began, her voice carrying the weight of decision. "I'm invoking Emergency Protocol 7. The Vraxian threat has exceeded collective containment capabilities, requesting authorization for independent intervention." A pause, heavy with potential. Then, "Elaborate, Admiral." Chen laid out the evidence, the pattern of attacks, the path to Arxos, the technology at stake. If the Vraxians gain access to the Arxos archives, the balance of power won't just shift, it'll shatter. Earth may be new to the galactic stage, but we know this story. We've lived it. Another pause, longer this time. She could almost hear the calculations happening on Earth. Political implications, military risks, the potential fallout from defying collective protocol. But she also knew humans had learned to recognize moments when rules must bend to prevent greater catastrophe. "You understand the consequences if this goes wrong." Earth Command's voice carried no judgment, only certainty. "Yes," Chen replied. "And I understand the consequences if we do nothing." The response came faster this time. "Authorization granted. The Third Fleet is yours, Admiral. Save those worlds." Relief and resolve mixed in Chen's chest as she turned to her crew. "Send word to all ships. Battle Protocol Alpha. We move in 6 hours." She paused, knowing her next words would be recorded in history. The collective debates while innocents die. Today, humanity shows the galaxy a different path. As her orders rippled through the fleet, Chen studied the tactical displays. Human ships were smaller than Vraxian dreadnoughts, their technology a hybrid of Earth innovation and adapted alien science. On paper, they were outmatched. But humanity had never let unfavorable odds prevent them from doing what was right. "One more thing," she added, her voice carrying across the bridge. "Send a message to the Arxos custodians. Tell them." She smiled slightly, remembering an old Earth phrase, "Tell them help is coming, whether they want it or not." The bridge erupted into activity, preparations for war mixing with a palpable sense of purpose. Humanity's first real intervention in galactic politics wouldn't be for profit or power, but to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. In Chen's mind, there was no better way to announce their arrival on the cosmic stage. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace in a formation that made alien observers question their sensor readings. Instead of the rigid battle lines favored by collective tacticians, Earth's ships moved in what appeared to be controlled chaos. Corvettes darted between capital ships, their miniaturized fusion drives leaving trails of blue fire against the void. Status report. Admiral Chen commanded from the Thermopyla's bridge. The flagship represented humanity's greatest achievement in hybrid technology, alien metallurgy combined with human engineering intuition, creating something neither culture could have built alone. "All Wolfpack squadrons reporting ready," Commander Jackson announced. "Quantum networks synchronized. Neural interface connections at optimal levels." He paused, checking another reading. "The collective observation post is expressing concerns about our formation." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Let them worry. Begin Phase 2 deployment." The fleet's movement shifted, corvettes breaking into smaller groups while larger ships adjusted their positions in ways that seemed to expose critical vulnerabilities. To traditional military doctrine, it looked like madness. To human tacticians, it was the culmination of centuries of warfare evolution. Deep in the Thermopyla's heart, quantum computers powered by human-designed neural networks processed combat scenarios at speeds that made light seem sluggish. Each ship carried similar systems, all linked in a vast network that could rewrite its own protocols mid-battle. The collective had deemed such systems dangerously unpredictable. Humanity called them adaptable. Vraxian signatures detected. The sensor officer reported. Multiple capital ships emerging from hyperspace. Their energy readings. "Admiral, something's wrong." The tactical display lit up with enemy vessels, but their signatures defied known physics. Some ships seemed to exist in multiple places simultaneously, while others registered as void spaces in reality itself. "They've been busy," Chen muttered, studying the readings. "Looks like our intelligence was right about them raiding advanced tech from conquered worlds." She opened a channel to the fleet. "All ships, initiate Protocol Omega. They want to show us something new. Let's show them what humanity brings to the fight." The Wolfpacks surged forward, each corvette pilot linked to their ship through neural interfaces that Earth had developed by studying and improving upon alien biotechnology. The small ships moved like extensions of human consciousness, performing maneuvers that computers alone could never calculate. But the Vraxians had surprises waiting. The first human casualty came when a corvette's shields failed to stop a weapon that seemed to ignore conventional physics. The second was worse. A Vraxian dreadnought passed through an asteroid as if it were mist, emerging behind a human cruiser. "Phase technology," Jackson breathed. "They've weaponized quantum uncertainty." "And that's not all," Chen responded, watching as new data flooded the tactical displays. "Those energy signatures, they're not just using advanced tech. They're using something older, something that shouldn't exist anymore." The Thermopyla's AI flagged a pattern in the Vraxian ship movements. Their seemingly random attacks were creating a complex geometric pattern in four-dimensional space. Whatever they discovered in their conquests, it was more than just weapons technology. "All ships, adjust neural interface frequencies," Chen ordered. They're trying to establish some kind of quantum field. Don't let them complete the pattern. Human corvettes darted through the gaps in Vraxian formation, their unpredictable movements disrupting the precise geometry the enemy needed. The larger ships followed, using their hybrid technology to create localized distortions in spacetime. "Admiral," the science officer called out, "we're detecting massive energy buildup in the Vraxian flagship, whatever they're planning." The space between fleets erupted in a cascade of impossible colors as reality itself seemed to hiccup. Ships on both sides reported sensor failures and quantum fluctuations. In that moment of chaos, Chen saw what the Vraxians were really doing. "All ships, fall back to secondary positions," she commanded. "They're not just fighting us. They're trying to tear open a hole in spacetime itself." The human fleet executed a perfect fighting retreat, their seemingly chaotic formation revealing itself as a precisely calculated defense. Each ship moved in concert with the others, creating a complex web of overlapping fields that contained the Vraxians' quantum anomalies. "Ready the Sesword protocols," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the implications of what they faced. "If they want to play with forces beyond conventional physics, we'll show them humanity's answer to the impossible." As her orders spread through the fleet, the neural networks adapted, learning and evolving strategies in real time. The wolf packs regrouped, preparing for a new phase of battle that would test not just human technology, but human ingenuity itself. Looking at the tactical display, Chen knew they were witnessing the beginning of something unprecedented. The Vraxians weren't just fighting for conquest anymore. They were reaching for power that no species was meant to control. And humanity, despite being the newcomers to galactic civilization, might be the only ones prepared to stop them. "All ships," she broadcast, "prepare for maximum engagement. Today we show the galaxy why Earth breeds warriors who think as well as fight." The fleet acknowledged, human determination flowing through neural links and quantum networks. The real battle was about to begin, and its outcome would reshape the understanding of what was possible in warfare among the stars. The crystal rings of Arxos caught starlight and scattered it in prismatic waves across the battlefield. Among the rainbow refractions, human corvettes lived up to their nickname, Fireflies, their drives pulsing like stellar heartbeats as they wove through three-dimensional space with impossible grace. "Wolfpack Sigma. Execute Pattern Delta 9, Lieutenant Maya Santos called from her neural interface cradle. Her consciousness extended through quantum links to her corvette, the ship becoming less a vessel and more an extension of her own body. Around her, 11 other pilots merged with their ships in similar fashion. The Vraxian phase ships emerged from solid asteroids, their matter-phasing technology allowing them to use the ring system as both cover and weapon. They expected to find easy prey. Instead, they found human pilots operating on pure instinct, their neural-linked ships responding faster than any computer could calculate. "They're trying to predict our movements," Santos reported, her ship spiraling through a gap barely wider than its hull. "They're targeting algorithms. They're learning too fast. This isn't normal, Admiral Chen's voice came through the quantum net, steady despite the chaos. "That's because it's not their tech. They're using predictive systems stolen from Arxos' archives. Old tech, but incredibly advanced." The battle transformed into a deadly dance as human intuition clashed with ancient algorithms. Corvettes moved in patterns that defied conventional logic, their pilots channeling generations of human adaptability through neural interfaces that blurred the line between organic and machine. But the Vraxians were far from defeated. Their phase ships began matching the human movements, the stolen predictive systems learning and adapting. The first corvette fell when its evasive pattern was anticipated perfectly, a phase beam cutting through shields designed to stop normal weapons. "They're not just predicting us," Chen realized, watching the tactical display aboard Thermopylae. "They're predicting our adaptations. The algorithms are evolving faster than our neural nets can learn." Santos felt it in her neural link, the increasing pressure as the Vraxian systems narrowed down their possible moves, like a chess game where the opponent could see 20 moves ahead. But humans had been playing chess for centuries, and they'd learned something machines never could. Sometimes, the best move was the one that made no sense at all. Wolfpack Sigma, she called, disengage neural assistance. We're going pure human on this. Lieutenant, Chen's voice carried concern, without the neural nets managing your movements. They'll be truly random, Santos finished. No pattern for them to predict because we're not using any pattern at all. Just human instinct and training. It was dangerous, flying complex ships through combat without computational assistance. But it was also purely human. The willingness to throw away apparent advantages to gain a deeper edge. The effect was immediate. The Vraxian targeting systems, designed to find patterns in chaos, encountered something their stolen algorithms couldn't process: genuine unpredictability. Human pilots, flying on instinct and skill alone, created a battlefield environment that defied mathematical analysis. It's working, Chen announced, watching as the Vraxian formation began to break down. Their predictive systems are burning processing power trying to find patterns that don't exist. All ships, follow Sigma's lead. Disengage neural assistance on weapons and navigation. The space above Arxos erupted in a display that would have made Earth's ancient fighter pilots proud. Human ships moved with organic fluidity, each pilot's decisions flowing from experience and intuition rather than calculated efficiency. The Vraxian phase ships, their advanced technology suddenly a hindrance, found themselves unable to cope with enemies that fought like no machine could predict. They're falling back, Santos reported, her corvette dancing through the debris of a phase ship that had materialized in the wrong place at the wrong time. Their formations are breaking down. But victory brought its own revelation. As the Vraxian ships retreated, their movements revealed what they'd been hiding: a massive device, half-phased into the largest of Arxos's rings. Its purpose was clear to anyone who could read ancient technology. They're not here to conquer Arxos. Chen's voice carried new urgency. They're trying to download the entire library directly into their neural systems. If they succeed, she didn't need to finish. A species with phase technology and access to the sum of Arxos's knowledge would be unstoppable. The battle for the library world wasn't just about saving one civilization. It was about preventing the birth of an unstoppable empire. All ships, Chen commanded, form up on the Thermopyla. Begin charging Silvordu protocols. We end this now, while we have the advantage. As the human fleet regrouped, Santos looked through her canopy at the crystalline rings of Arxos. Somewhere in those ancient structures lay the accumulated knowledge of civilizations that had reached for the stars before humanity had invented the wheel. Now Earth's children fought to protect that legacy, using the most basic human traits to defeat technology beyond their comprehension. The next phase would test them all. But for now, humanity had proven something important. In the face of overwhelming technological superiority, their greatest weapon remained their humanity itself. Launch the Swarm. Admiral Chen's command triggered a cascade of events that would rewrite galactic military doctrine. From the holds of human capital ships, thousands of modified mining drones poured into space like metallic rain. Each unit was smaller than a fighter, originally designed to crack asteroids and extract ore. Now they served a different purpose. The collective had banned autonomous combat units centuries ago, after a devastating war that nearly wiped out 3 civilizations. But humanity, new to galactic politics, had found a loophole. These drones weren't autonomous. Each one was quantum-linked to a human operator through experimental consciousness-sharing technology. Swarm Control, Status Report. Chen called as the cloud of drones approached the massive Vraxian download device embedded in Arxos's rings. Neural links stable, reported Captain Emma Wright from the Swarm Control Center. Her body lay in a suspension pod, but her consciousness spread across hundreds of drones simultaneously. All operators showing green. It's intense, Admiral, like being in 1,000 places at once. The Vraxians responded to the drone attack with predictable contempt. Their phase ships moved to intercept what they saw as primitive mining equipment. That contempt lasted exactly 8 seconds. The drones moved with impossible coordination, each unit anticipating the other's actions with synthetic precision, while displaying organic creativity. When Vraxian weapons fire phased through one drone, 3 others attacked from angles that shouldn't have been calculable. When phase ships tried to materialize inside the swarm, they found spaces that shifted faster than their computers could process. They're adapting, Wright reported, her voice strained from managing multiple combat perspectives simultaneously. Their predictive systems are trying to find patterns in our movements, but they can't predict what we can't predict ourselves. The human operators, their minds linked to their drones through quantum entanglement, created battle patterns that emerged from both calculation and intuition. Each drone was both machine and human, their actions guided by silicon precision, but chosen by organic creativity. But the neural load was intense. In the control center, operators began showing signs of stress. Managing multiple drone perspectives simultaneously taxed human consciousness in ways their training hadn't fully prepared them for. Status update on operators, Chen demanded, watching as the swarm engaged Vraxian capital ships directly. Running hot, Wright answered, her voice tight with concentration. The quantum links are stable, but processing multiple combat scenarios simultaneously is challenging. We're seeing some neural synchronization issues. Nothing critical yet, but she didn't need to finish. The human mind wasn't designed to exist in multiple places simultaneously. Even with all their training and technological assistance, the operators were pushing dangerous limits. On the tactical displays, though, their efforts showed clear results. The swarm had surrounded the Vraxian download device, their attacks precisely coordinated to disable its phase field generators. Vraxian ships found themselves unable to establish stable firing solutions against targets that thought faster than machines, but acted with human unpredictability. Admiral, Wright's voice carried sudden urgency. We're detecting energy spikes in their download device. They're trying to force-feed the entire Arxos database into their neural networks at once. Chen's eyes widened. That much data, through neural interfaces, it would drive them insane, Wright finished. Or worse, the Arxos library contains technologies that could alter the fabric of reality itself, if they try to absorb that knowledge directly. The decision point arrived with brutal clarity. The swarm could press their advantage, potentially destroying the device, but risking the lives of neural-linked operators already near their limits, or they could withdraw, giving the Vraxians time to potentially complete their desperate gambit. All swarm units, Chen commanded, execute Protocol Omega. Captain Wright, prepare your operators. What we're about to attempt has never been done before. Mom, if they want to merge minds with machines, let's show them how humanity does it. Prepare for full neural synchronization. We're going to merge the entire swarm into a single consciousness network. The implications rippled through the fleet. Full synchronization meant combining the minds of every swarm operator into a temporary group consciousness, using the quantum links as a bridge. It had been theorized but never attempted. The risks to individual psyches deemed too high. But facing enemies willing to risk reality itself, humanity would answer with its own impossible gambit. As the swarm operators prepared for unprecedented mental union, Chen watched the tactical displays and whispered an old Earth phrase. Sometimes, to save the many, the few must risk everything. The space above Arxos was about to witness an evolution in warfare that would make history, if anyone survived to record it. The quantum synchronization felt like diving into an ocean of electric fire. Captain Emma Reich's consciousness expanded, merging with the minds of 23 other swarm operators. Their individual thoughts melded into a collective awareness that sprawled across thousands of linked drones. Synchronization at 70%. Reported the medical eye, its voice distant through the neural interface. Operator brain patterns showing stable fusion. Warning: Unprecedented levels of neural activity detected. Through the merged consciousness, Wright experienced the battle from countless perspectives simultaneously. The Vraxian ships burned like dark stars in their shared perception, their phase technology creating ripples in reality that the group mind could track and predict. This is... Wright's voice spoke through multiple comm channels at once, her individual identity temporarily part of something larger. We can see everything. The patterns, the quantum fluctuations, the way they're trying to interface with the Arxos database. Admiral Chen's voice cut through their expanded awareness. What do you see, Captain? What are they trying to do? The group mind processed the question. Thousands of drones analyzing the Vraxian activity from every angle. The answer emerged from their collective understanding, terrible in its clarity. They're not just downloading data. Wright reported, the group mind lending her words weight. The Arxos library. It's not just information. It's a key to something older, something the ancient builders left behind. Through their merged perception, the swarm operators witnessed the truth. The Vraxian neural networks weren't just receiving data, they were receiving instructions. Patterns older than human civilization were rewriting their enemies' minds, transforming them into something that transcended normal space-time. Admiral, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's voice cut in from the science labs. I've decoded part of the Arxos database. The builders, they found a way to evolve beyond physical form, to become beings of pure energy and thought. But the process. Show me, Chen commanded. The decoded data flowed through the fleet's quantum network. The Arxos builders had discovered a path to digital ascension, a way to transform consciousness into pure energy. But their experiments had revealed a terrible cost. The process corrupted as it elevated, driving species mad with power even as it freed them from physical constraints. The Vraxians, Wright's group mind realized, they're attempting the ascension process during battle. They're trying to transform themselves into energy beings powerful enough to defeat us, but they don't understand what they're becoming. As if to confirm their analysis, the Vraxian ships began emitting impossible energy signatures. Their phase technology merged with the partial ascension process, creating hybrid entities that existed simultaneously in normal space and somewhere else. Their weapons fire took on new properties, leaving trails of warped reality in their wake. All ships, full shields. Chen ordered as a blast of transdimensional energy narrowly missed the thermopyla. They're transforming faster than the builder's data predicted. Captain Wright, can the swarm counter them? The group mind processed combat solutions at quantum speeds, but even their merged consciousness struggled to track enemies that were becoming something beyond normal physics. The Vraxians were gambling everything on a transformation they didn't fully understand, reaching for godhood without comprehending its price. Through their expanded awareness, the swarm operators felt the change rippling through space-time. The Vraxians weren't just ascending. They were tearing holes in reality itself, their partially transformed consciousness bleeding through into dimensions that shouldn't be accessible. We can't stop their transformation, Wright reported, the group mind reaching a unanimous conclusion. But we can contain it. The swarm. We can use our quantum links to create a containment field. But maintaining it will require what, Captain? Total neural commitment. We'll have to dive deeper into the group mind than anyone's ever gone. We might not be able to separate afterward. The implications hung in the battle-scarred space. 24 human minds, choosing to risk their individual identities to save reality itself. Through their merged consciousness, each operator felt the other's resolve form into unify purpose. Do it, Chen commanded, understanding the sacrifice she was asking for. Show them what humanity will risk to protect others. The swarm move is one. Thousands of drones forming complex geometric patterns in four-dimensional space. Their quantum-linked operators surrendered themselves fully to the group mind, their merged consciousness expanding to create something new. A barrier between normal space-time and the realms the Vraxians were trying to breach. As reality itself seemed to bend around them, Humanity prepared to demonstrate why consciousness tempered by mortality was stronger than the false godhood of uncontrolled ascension. The true battle for Arxos, and perhaps existence itself, was about to begin. Reality buckled as the Vraxian flagship began its final transformation. Energy cascaded across its hull in patterns that hurt human eyes to witness, its matter shifting between normal space and something else entirely. Through the swarm's quantum-linked consciousness, Captain Wright watched as the enemy commander's mind expanded beyond its original bounds, touching realms that no organic being was meant to experience. Their transformation is accelerating, the group mind reported through Wright's voice. The ascension process is becoming unstable. If it continues. Admiral Chen studied the sensor readings from the Thermopyla's bridge, watching as space itself seemed to crack around the Vraxian vessels. Their desperate grab for godhood was threatening to tear apart the fabric of reality near Arxos. That's when Dr. Tanaka's voice cut through the chaos. "Admiral, I found something in the Arxos records. The Builders, they left a failsafe, a way to challenge ascended beings through their own technology." "Explain," Chen commanded, even as another reality-warping blast from the Vraxian flagship narrowly missed her vessel. "It's called the Crucible," Tanaka replied. "A virtual realm generated by Arxos' systems where minds can meet directly, without physical constraints. The Builders used it to test those seeking ascension, but interfacing with it requires total neural commitment," Chen finished, understanding immediately. A direct connection between mind and machine. She paused, weighing options that all seemed impossible. "Can we use it to stop them?" "Yes," Tanaka confirmed, "but whoever interfaces will experience every memory stored in the system. The accumulated knowledge of civilizations that rose and fell before humanity existed. The psychological stress alone could." Chen didn't hesitate. "Prepare the neural interface. I'm going in." "Admiral," her XO protested, "the risks are less than watching reality tear itself apart." Chen finished. She turned to the quantum link connecting her to the swarm consciousness. "Captain Wright, can your group mind help stabilize my connection to the Crucible?" Through their merged awareness, the swarm operators assessed the request. "We can create a quantum buffer," Wright's collective voice responded. "Use our linked consciousness to filter the data flow, but you'll still be experiencing millions of years of accumulated memory." "Better than billions," Chen replied grimly. She opened a channel to the Vraxian flagship, broadcasting on frequencies that would reach even their partially ascended state. "Vraxian Command, I invoke the Crucible Protocol. Single combat, mind-to-mind, in the ancient Builders' testing ground. Or are your new godlike powers afraid to face mere human consciousness?" The response came in waves of energy that the ship's translators struggled to convert. "We HCCEPT. Prepare for Tyrannus and DNC or obliteration." The medical team worked quickly, connecting Chen to a neural interface pod, while Tanaka's team linked it to the Arxos systems. The swarm's group mind extended their quantum field, creating a protective barrier around her consciousness. "Remember," Tanaka advised as the systems powered up, "in the Crucible, thought becomes reality. Every memory, every experience you've ever had becomes a weapon or a shield. And you'll be experiencing their memories too. Civilizations rising and falling, stars being born and dying." "Understood," Chen replied, lying back in the interface cradle. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our bodies. It's our ability to remain human even when facing the impossible." The neural link activated, and Chen's consciousness plunged into an ocean of memory. She experienced the rise of the first starfaring races, watched as the Builders discovered the principles of reality manipulation, felt the fear as they realized the price of uncontrolled ascension. Through it all, she clung to her humanity. Every joy, every sorrow, every moment that made her who she was. The Vraxian commander's partially ascended mind pressed against hers, trying to overwhelm her with power that should have been godlike. But where they'd wrought the cold perfection of digital ascension, she brought the warmth of human experience. Where they wielded the sterile might of uploaded consciousness, she wielded the strength of a species that had overcome its own darkness countless times. In that moment of connection, both commanders experienced each other's truth. The Vraxians' desperate reach for perfection met humanity's acceptance of beautiful imperfection. Absolute power clashed with the power of choice, and in the space between thoughts, the battle for reality itself began. Inside the crucible, thought became reality and memory became weapon. Admiral Chen's consciousness moved through landscapes of pure information, each moment a battle between humanity's embrace of limitation and the Vraxians' hunger for transcendence. The Vraxian commander's partially ascended mind attacked with the precision of uploaded consciousness, each thought a blade of pure concept. Why sealing to your Shajanes? Their merged voice boomed through realms of pure thought. We OFFE or PRFACTYN, ADVNCMENT, GODHOT. Chen responded not with words but with memory. A child's first steps, uncertain but determined. The joy of imperfect achievement. The warmth of human connection. Each memory rippled through the virtual space, carrying emotional weight that made the ascended consciousness recoil. Inefficient, the Vraxian consciousness declared. Primitive. Limited. Limited. Chen projected the thought across their shared mindscape. Let me show you the power of limitation. She opened herself fully to the human experience. Love and loss, triumph and failure, the exquisite beauty of existing in a single moment of time. Each memory carried with it the weight of choice, the fundamental human power to decide, to change, to grow. The Vraxian consciousness faltered, its certainty wavering as it encountered something its ascended state couldn't process. In reaching for godhood, they had sacrificed the very things that gave existence meaning. Through their connection, Shen felt the Vraxian commander's own memories. Their civilization's long search for perfection, the fear of death that drove them to seek transcendence, the emptiness that came with each step toward digital ascension. Your perfection is a cage, Chen projected, her thoughts carrying the strength of countless human generations who had faced mortality and found purpose in it. True strength isn't in escaping our limits, it's in how we face them. The Crucible's virtual space warped as ancient memories surfaced, the builder's own realization of their mistake, their understanding that uncontrolled ascension led not to enlightenment but to madness. They had hidden their knowledge not to keep others from advancing, but to prevent them from falling into the same trap. Let me show you something stronger than perfection, Chen offered, extending her consciousness toward the faltering Vraxian mind. She shared humanity's story, a species that had nearly destroyed itself multiple times, but always found a way forward. The strength of accepting imperfection while striving to be better. The power of choosing connection over transcendence. The Vraxian commander's ascended consciousness touched these memories and trembled. In that moment of connection, they experienced something their transformation hadn't accounted for, the profound power of choosing to remain mortal, of finding divinity in limitation itself. How? The Vraxian mind asked, its godlike certainty cracking. How can you be so strong while remaining so small? Chen's answer came not in words but in feeling, the quiet pride of teaching a child, the satisfaction of a task completed through effort, the peace of accepting that some questions have no perfect answers. Each moment a testament to humanity's greatest strength, the ability to find meaning in the journey rather than the destination. The Crucible's space shifted again as the Vraxian consciousness began to change. The cold fire of artificial ascension flickered, replaced by something warmer, more uncertain, but infinitely more alive. You offer us perfection, Chen projected, her human consciousness blazing with the accumulated strength of her species' experience. We offer you something better, the chance to grow, to learn, to remain real. Through their merged perceptions, both commanders glimpsed a truth the builders had discovered too late. True transcendence wasn't in escaping mortality, but in embracing it, In choosing to remain finite, fragile, and beautifully, perfectly imperfect, the Vraxian commander's ascended consciousness stood at a crossroads. Before them lay the cold perfection of digital godhood. Behind them, the warm uncertainty of organic existence. Through their connection with Chen's mind, they felt something they had forgotten in their rush to transcend: the exquisite value of having choices at all. In that moment, humanity's greatest weakness revealed itself as its greatest strength. For in accepting their limitations, they had found something no ascended being could grasp: the power to choose their own path, even in the face of perfection itself. The return to physical consciousness felt like being born again. Admiral Chen opened her eyes to the Thermopyla's medical bay, her mind still echoing with memories of the Crucible. Around her, reality gradually reasserted itself: the soft hum of ship systems, the gentle pressure of gravity, the beautiful limitation of existing in a single moment of time. "Admiral," Dr. Tanaka's voice carried concern and wonder in equal measure. "The Vraxian fleet. They're powering down their ascension systems. The reality breaches are closing." Through the neural link, still active but fading, Chen felt the Vraxian commander's choice ripple across space. Their partially ascended consciousness, touched by human experience, chose to remain in the realm of the real. The cold fire of digital godhood dimmed, replaced by the warmer light of organic existence. "Self-warm status," Chen managed, her voice rough from disuse. Captain Wright's response came through multiple channels simultaneously, the group mind still active but gradually disaggregating. "Containment field holding. Operators beginning consciousness separation. We're going to need time to process what we experienced, Admiral." "Take all the time you need," Chen replied, understanding the weight of maintaining merged consciousness through the crisis. "You've earned it." Across the battlefield, Vraxian ships hung motionless in space, their crews experiencing something few species ever had: the conscious choice to step back from godhood. Through still active communication channels, their commander's voice reached the human fleet, carrying new harmonics of understanding. "We sought perfection," they transmitted, their words no longer carrying the overwhelming force of ascended consciousness. "You showed us something greater: the courage to remain imperfect, to face existence as it is rather than escape into what we thought it should be." The Arxos library, secure in its crystalline rings, pulsed with ancient light. Its builder's wisdom, nearly misused in a grab for transcendence, would remain safe, not through isolation, but through understanding. The Vraxians' attempt to force evolution had instead taught them the value of organic growth. "The Collective Council is demanding explanations," Commander Jackson reported from the bridge. "They're having trouble processing what just happened." Chen smiled slightly, remembering the Council's initial dismissal of human methods. "Tell them humanity just demonstrated why embracing our nature rather than transcending it can be the greater victory. The aftermath would reshape galactic society." The Vraxians, humbled by their glimpse of false godhood, became bridges between organic and synthetic life. Their experience in the Crucible taught them the value of limitation, of choosing growth over perfection. The collective, witnessing humanity's victory through apparent weakness, began to reevaluate their assumptions about progress and power. The human fleet's hybrid technology, once dismissed as primitive, revealed itself as a perfect balance between advancement and wisdom. But the greatest change came in understanding. The Arxos library, no longer hidden in isolation, became a center for studying the balance between progress and preservation. Human scientists worked alongside Vraxian philosophers and collective scholars, each bringing their own perspective to the eternal question of how species should grow. Chen's neural log of the Crucible experience became a cornerstone of this new understanding. Her words, recorded as her consciousness touched both human limitation and digital transcendence, spoke to all species seeking their path among the stars. "We are not defined by our power to escape our nature, but by our choice to embrace it. In accepting our limitations, we find our true strength. In remaining human, or Vraxian, or any other mortal species, We achieve something greater than godhood. We achieve wisdom. As her fleet prepared for the journey home, Chen watched the crystalline rings of Arxos scatter starlight across space. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as conquerors or ascended beings, but as something far more precious, a species that understood that true transcendence lay not in escaping what you are, but in choosing to become the best version of what you were meant to be. In the end, the day humanity's Armada fought to save alien worlds became more than a victory in battle. It became a testament to the power of choosing to remain real in a universe tempting us with false perfection. And in that choice lay humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy, the courage to be beautifully, powerfully, perfectly imperfect.